first. But I got my favorite daughter and my other favorite daughter and favorite son-in-law to be together. We're going to try something. If life is like a candle bright, death must be the wind. You can close your window tight, and it still comes blowing in. So I will climb the highest hill and watch the rising sun. And I pray that I don't feel the chill till I'm too old to die young. Let me watch my children grow to see what they become. Oh Lord, don't let that cold wind blow till I'm too old to die young. Now I have had some dear sweet friends I thought would never die. Now the only thing that's left of them is the teardrop in my eye. If I could have one wish today and know it would be done, well, I would say everyone could stay till they're too old to die young. Let me watch my children grow to see what they become. Oh Lord, don't let that cold wind blow till I'm too old to die young. Let me watch my children grow to see what they become. Oh Lord, don't let that cold wind blow till I'm too old to die young. Now I'm too old to die young. Oh, thank you. While we're on kids, I've had many requests for this song. It's an Oak Ridge Boys song called, what's it called? Thank God for Kids. Well, if it weren't for kids, have you ever thought there wouldn't be no Santa Claus? Or look what the stork just brought, thank God for kids. And we'd all live in a quiet house without Big Bird and Mickey Mouse and Kool-Aid on the couch, thank God for kids. Thank God for kids, there's magic for a while. A special kind of sunshine in a smile. Did you ever stop to think or wonder why? The nearest thing to heaven is a child. Daddy, how does this thing fly? 100 other questions why. I really don't know, but I'll try. Thank God for kids. When I look down in those trusting eyes, suddenly I realize there's love that I can't buy. Thank God for kids. Thank God for kids, there's magic for a while. A special kind of sunshine in a smile. Did you ever stop to think and wonder why? The near nearest thing to heaven is a child. When you get down on your knees tonight, pray the Lord for his guiding light. Pray they turn out right. Thank God for kids. Ooh, thank God for kids. After the kids, or before the kids, comes Mama, and here's a song for all the mamas out there. He got here red and wrinkled, scared and crying. Then she took him up and held him to her breast. And he sure was glad to get what Mama offered. Then he went to sleep and put his fears to rest. It didn't seem to matter what he needed. He could always count on Mama's to supply. And in spite of all the sleep she might be losing, he always saw a twinkle in her eye. There ought to be a hall of fame for mamas, creation's most unique and precious pearls. Heaven help us always to remember that the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. She taught him all the attributes of greatness that she knew he couldn't learn away from home. And by the time she wore the cover of her Bible, her hair was gray and her little man was gone. There ought to be a hall of fame for mamas, creation's most unique and precious pearls. Heaven help us always to remember that the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. Oh, the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world.
Children. Who has the most children? And we'll have to work at this one. Okay, the next award, who has the most great-grandchildren? Uncle Alec, how many? Great-grand...
They didn't want to come.
Hey, what are you doing?
Well, I'll look at this one. I'll give you guys this. And Gary.
Okay.
There, he's gone. Let's see it.
Okay, the family having the most members. I guess we added those up ourselves, and it's Ed Huck. Ed Huck family having the most members here. Oh, Brookies?
There was two left to go.
Brookies had 26.
One is up. Here tonight.
Oh, and here's an award to honor someone that really wanted to be here today, but couldn't make it. to Aunt Elizabeth in recognition of reaching the age of 97 and wanting to be here with us. Could Pauline come up and accept this award? Pauline here? Television network, and in about 2 years' time we'll probably see her name mentioned on national TV in the U.S. Got that one. It's Christopher Condon. Christopher Condon. What's the age? 18 months? 15 months? Where's Christopher? Very good, Christopher. Okay, Award of Merit presented to Mr. Harry Wilson in recognition of having the hairiest and the best beard. Okay, this was a particularly tough award to come up with because I think there's lots of people that really could qualify for this one. It's presented to Butch Frex in recognition of being the smoothest talker. That's a polite way of saying the best BSer. Here's another one. This one is really true. This is an award presented to Oliver Pepin in recognition of being the cousin that most resembles the Huck brothers. Well, there's no problem picking the winner of this award. I think this person won this one hands down. It's presented to Auntie Pauline in recognition of non-stop talking during the reunion. Auntie Pauline, could you come forward, please? Auntie Pauline, keep quiet, come forward. We have another award here in recognition of having the largest nose. John Rocky.
It is presented to Bob Huck and family in recognition of traveling the farthest to attend our reunion.
This was another one that was really quite difficult to select. I think there's probably several of us that could have been considered. It's in recognition of having the baldest, shiniest head, and it's Max. Pauline, could you come forward? We had something that is called Remember When Session. And I'd like to invite people to come up and start telling a few stories. I think it's many times we've been sitting around in smaller groups telling stories on each other. here's your chance to get back at them, not having heard what was said about you before. I myself remember a lot of things. When I grew up in this country, I've been away from here for about, I guess it's about 20 years now. But this is always, and always will be my home. I, for example, remember when I had to milk cows. I remember when the cow's tails used to come loose when I was milking cows. And if anyone's not tried that, you're welcome to it. I remember things like listening to the radio and listening to fights on the radio in our house before even we had electricity in our house. I remember having gas lanterns lighting our house. I remember riding a horse to school, or having to take a horse to school. And you know, I think the interesting thing is that I don't think I'm that old yet. You know, that hasn't been that long ago. So we have been progressing a great deal in the last few years. I'd like to start this off by asking my dad to come forward and maybe talk a little bit about the family tree. I think the tree, of course, is something like 97 people now, and there's a fair bit of interest in describing exactly how this whole tree fits together. How the people in the United States fit in with the people up here in Canada. I'd also like to acknowledge some of the work that my dad has been doing in trying to put together a bit of a history and to try and fill in some of the details of the family tree. I think that is really superb effort and something that will be very much value to all of us as we sort of grow older and our next generation comes along. I think very few families really have a really good, solid history. Go a long ways back in their family trees, particularly when they start immigrating out of countries like Russia, where the records and the information is very, very difficult to get. Dan?
Bob has to go to a meeting in London next week, and I hope he doesn't continue this speech in London. This was sprung on me. First of all, I'd like to extend Jack and Jane Schultz from Colorado were unable to come due to sickness. And I'd like to extend their greetings to us and wish us the best of luck. Jane Schultz has compiled a history book on our mother's side of the family. And anyone who's interested in this, contact me, and I'll send your name down to her and she'll get in contact with you. I think the book would probably be about $10. My father came to the United States from Russia in 1902, and they lived in Lincoln, Nebraska for 6 years. I'm not going to say too much about this, but one of the highlights, I suppose, to them was the flood they had in Lincoln, Nebraska. And they had 3 feet of water in the house, and they were going to the hill where the schoolhouse was, and my mother was carrying Adam in her arms, and she stumbled and fell, and he fell into the water, and she was pretty fast, and she got him back again. That's how come Ellen and his family are still here. And the connection of our family to the people from the United States here today, Pauline and Virginia are on my dad's side of the family, and his sister's children, Elizabeth Geyer. And Roy Schultz is my mother's sister's son. I think I got that all right. Okay? Or Schaff, yeah, not Schultz, Schaff. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. Came to Canada. The first child died on Ellis Island, and 3 more were born in Lincoln, Nebraska. They came to Canada in 1908, and 5 more were born in Canada. I was the middle one of the last 5, and I tell you, that was a hard spot to be in. Polly liked to play tricks, and Max will testify to that, you see. I took a lot of gaff from these guys. she was forever throwing my new caps into the biffy. Got into because he was older than me and he blamed everything on me, so I had to take all the gaff. My youngest brother Walter was 5 years younger than me, and he was the baby of the family, so we had to treat him pretty good. But I had my moment of glory the day the bull got killed by lightning. I waited a long time for that. I was out in the yard. I was about 12 years old, and there was a terrible storm come up, and the lightning and the thunder hit, and I fell flat on my face, and I jumped up and headed for the house. And I tell you, Ben Johnson wouldn't have caught me that day with all his store rights that he got. So I got the record for the 100-yard dash. That's my moment of glory. For our family, and I seen all this here, I almost felt ashamed of myself that I was responsible. We were responsible for all these kids. I thank you.
Thanks, Dad. Okay, I'd like you to start thinking about coming up here and start making a few stories yourselves. I remember, for example, when I moved first down east, I've been down east now working in the Toronto and Ottawa area, mostly the Ottawa area, for almost 20 years. When I first went down there, I started telling some of my eastern friends about about having, for example, to take a horse to school. They found this kind of a bit hard to accept, and they really regarded this as really the wild frontier. And then I think I got a visit one time by my shy and retiring brother Jerry, and they really were convinced then that it was the wild frontier. He asked her up to say a few words.
Girls, do you know what it's like to marry a Huck? Yeah. How many know?
Just good luck.
Well, I married a Huck, and I'm telling you, the stories I could tell about Eddie and Alec are many. In fact, I've made quick notes, and it was two sides. Okay. Eddie and Alec, sure they were 3.5 or 4 years apart, but they thought alike. And Eddie's right. When Alec and he got into trouble, it was easy for Alec, a little older, to enforce the idea that he was not responsible. For instance, Grandma, I got some apples, and they were bought by the barrel. And Eddie and Alec were dying for apples. But if anybody knows our Grandma Huck, you didn't get more than one apple in your lunch, and perhaps none on Sunday and Saturday. So they were scared. So the boys, Eddie goes down in the basement, and Alec goes outside the open window, and Alec schools them, and she says, "Now, you throw them up, and I'll catch them." And he did. Eddie was stupid to throw them up. And Alec caught them. Who got caught? Not Alec. Eddie. So, then, for instance, Alec and Eddie were great windmill fans. So, Alec and I had a radio, a really old-fashioned kind of radio, and Alec is going to hook it up, and Eddie comes down to get the windmill going, and these devils, you know what they did? "I'm highly pregnant with you, Joan." And they say, "Esther, you come here and hold on to this wire. We want to know if it's alive." It was alive. Those are the kinds of things those boys did. Alex still swears that Eddie tried to steal all his girls. I don't know about all of his girls, but I know that Eddie phoned me up one day. But he didn't exactly say he was Eddie. He was Alec, and the line he was giving me, I'm telling you, I caught on really fast because Alec didn't talk like that. they're the stories they tell me, at least Alec tells me. So they went, one day they had this beautiful straw stack to play in. And Eddie and Alec decided it'd be kind of nice to have a fire. For what, I don't know. So they started a fire in the straw stack, at the very edge, of course. But guess what? Grandpa caught them, and that time they both got it. So Alec tells me. Said, is that right, Eddie?
Can't remember.
You're just as bad as the criminals. They plead ignorance. That is usually a sign that they're guilty. So, another thing, one Sunday, everybody went away. Everybody. But there was this nice old Maxwell car. I think that's what Alec said it was. So Eddie and Alec are going to start this Maxwell. And they go out and they put it in forward, and then they jam it into reverse, and they get the gears meshed. Next morning, Adam was going to try, their big brother is going to try and start the car. I don't know, Adam said, it won't go. Guess what? They meshed the gears, and then that poor old Maxwell stood there the rest of its life. For Adam's kids, I want to tell you what a handsome devil he was. I said I was only going to talk about Eddie and Alec, but I can't go without talking about Adam. He was just the best looking guy, about 6 foot tall and dark, and really a nice, and the girls liked him. Oh, did the girls like him. And he had a nice horse, and he used to disappear for great long times, like a couple of weeks, or maybe a month. Well, I could go on and on about stories, but I'm sure that somebody else has another story. I just want to say something about marrying into the Huck family, Huck as we were known until we went to that big city of Calgary. It's kind of nice. Grandma Huck was just a super person. She was very prim and proper. You didn't tell Grandma you were going to have a baby because she knew before you did almost that you were. You couldn't, it wasn't one of those things you talked about. But she was just a really super lady. When she didn't approve of anything, her mouth went straight across. And so you knew when to stop before you had to stop, before you got into real trouble. Now, Pa, he really liked his daughter-in-laws, always did. And he treated us just super perfect. So not only did we marry kind of nice guys, we married nice in-laws, didn't we, girls? The other thing that I just have to tell one more story about Eddie. When Alec and I got engaged, you did everything through the Eaton's catalog. So Alec chooses a ring for me, and we were poring over this one out of the Eaton's catalog, and we did not have very much money. So the ring was the rings were $17, and I still wear the one small, very small diamond in one of my, I had it reset, of course, because the ring wore out. But we get this ring, and I'm thrilled to death with this engagement ring. And what do you know? It's too big. So Alec wraps it up and sends it back, and to exchange it for a smaller size. It comes back in the mail again, and Eddie, that devil, he opened the second ring and he thought Alec was getting engaged all over the town. He didn't think it was all for Esther. So, and that's true, he really did. He opened the ring and then he had to wrap it up so it wouldn't be thick. So I could go on and tell you all kinds of stories, but I think maybe I better stop now. Thanks.
That's enough, Annie. I'd like to invite anyone else to come forward who may like to relate a story. Does anyone else want to volunteer? Prominent of these Indian fighters was my cousin Roy. He spent a lot of time going around the farm playing and killing a lot of Indians. One time he was busy away, I understand, in the pump house, pumping water, concentrating pretty hard because this was a pretty, of course, intellectual kind of a job. And he was thinking about these Indians and how he was fighting them, and all of a sudden Aunt Hillarine came into the pump house dressed in a big kimono. Roy turned around and saw her and thought she was an Indian, and he fainted dead away. That's how the story goes anyway, Roy.
That wanted to ring a bell. But I won't tell you that story because my brother Dennis tells that story much better than I do. As Bob mentioned, we grew up on a farm south of Luceland here. We never had the power until 1954 or 1956, whenever it came through, and we all had to use our imaginations a great deal in order to sort of play together and have fun together. I guess the kids nowadays watch a lot of television and they do other things to entertain themselves, but I was born in 1942, and I remember a lot of things in the farm that I treasure very much. One of the things that was told to me, and I never learned this until about 5 years ago, and I guess it's a story about my dad and Walter King. Now, I don't think my dad knows that I know this story. For those of you who want to close your ears, you can sort of keep your hands ready close to your ears. But they used to play tricks on Halloween night, and as the story goes, the way Walter King told me, Walter King was a young fellow who lived in the same area that my dad did, and they went to school together, and when they were a little older, they learned all the things about magnetos and the shocks that magnetos can give if you have a wire strung across the screen or whatever. So what they did, they went down to, on Halloween night, they went down to Ben Thorson's farm, and I don't know what year this took place, don't have a clue, maybe in the 30s. Was it be about 1930, Dad? They went down to Ben Thorson's farm, and they took an old window screen and they put them on the bottom of the Ben Thorson's toilet, and they hooked a magneto onto this window screen, and they waited for an appropriate moment when Mrs. Thorsness came out to use the bathroom. When they heard the proper sound, they pushed the thing down on the magneto, and they gave a tremendous shock to the screen, and there was a loud scream and a rip and a tear, and the door came right off the toilet, and Mrs. Thorsness ran up towards the house and fell because she had things around the bottom of her feet. And Ellen's and Jenny's, Shirley's place, and the scene was that we had a bar room set up there, and the girls went and got some Freshie, and they had these drinks set up on the bar, and the cowboys had their pistols on, and they would walk into the bar and demand a drink and play cards and whatnot. And Jenny was the barroom girl. Where is Jenny? Jenny was the barroom girl, and she came out with a little red belt right around here. She was about 8 or 9 years old, and of course, you know, like Jenny was dancing and serving the drinks, and we were doing the thing, and I don't know what happened, whether Ellen pulled it off or just what happened, but the belt slipped. It might have been Bob here that reached over and gave the belt a little tug, and it just slipped down, just for an instant. But we got our first look at and Jenny.
One little story. Now, somebody said that I was the instigator of a lot of things that Brother Ed and I did. But you know, that isn't altogether true. He got caught the most. He got the blame for most of the time. So I think maybe it was partly his fault, but mostly his fault too, you know. This particular time, I don't know why, but Dad thought he had licked me. And he didn't. What's that noise back there? And he didn't. And he let Ed off completely. So this is pretty serious, I guess, because Dad had a black stake. And he got this, it was kind of a whip for using a buggy, you know. When the horse is going too slow, you just crack it over his head. So I wasn't too afraid of that whip because most of the time Dad just cracked it over his head. But when he started after me with it, I ran. And I started running around the house. And of course he was a lot older than I was. And I ran so fast that I started to catch up to him around the house. And there he was going as fast as he could go, trying to catch me, had the whip up all ready to bang me, you know. And I thought, well, I better do something about this to get out of this. So we had a wheat field right past the chicken house on the farm there. And I headed to the wheat field. And I got into the wheat field before Dad could spot me from around the corner of the house. He didn't really know where I was, I guess. And after I got into the wheat field, I'm ashamed to say that I crawled a little ways on my hands and knees, you know, to get away further. This is a true story, you know. This isn't made up like most of these stories you heard tonight. This is the honest to goodness truth. So I didn't like that whip, and I stayed there. And Mother talked to Dad for a while. They had supper, and I was out in the wheat field yet. I'm not a coward, you know, but I didn't like that whip. I didn't like what it could do to me. So finally Mother came out, and she says, okay. She said, it's time to come in and eat. She says, I cooled Dad off. And I went in, and I had my supper. And Dad never even looked at me. I was, you're doing a good job. And furthermore, for one more thing, I want to thank the people who originated this endeavor. It is a big task, and I live quite away from Calgary, some other of you do too, so we didn't have a part in organizing it. But the ones around here, you did all the work. And I want to pass my thanks on for me, my family, and for the other families that were way out and didn't do too much, to all the rest of you. I thank you very much. Thank you.
Who has been working very hard at the bar. Merci beaucoup, Pierre.
As we were talking here this evening, I just wonder if maybe you'd mind if we just bowed our heads for just 1 minute in recognition of the ones that aren't here tonight. And I especially mean Dad, Adam, because I love them so much. And I'm sure Ed's Mom and Amelia, John. So let's just take one moment for a second.
Earlier when everybody was saying, I remember when, but I remember some things too. And some of the people that got up sort of jogged my memory a little bit, and I've been thinking about it, and just little things I remember back. Uncle Alec and Aunt Esther, especially. They used to come and visit us just about every year, I think. Every summer he used to come, just about. And Joan came, and that was very special. And of course, Uncle Eddie was always around. And Jerry and Bob and Dennis later. We sort of grew up together. And Dawn, I remember Dawn especially. I remember Jenny as well. Jerry told a story about the Cowboys. That's true. And the bar girl type of thing. But Jenny wrecked my life. In two ways. First of all, I remember every Saturday was bath day, and we had a round tub about yay big. And first came Shirley, and then came Jenny, and then came me. Same water every week. I didn't know what clean water was 20 years or so. And in the worst way of all, you're familiar with our place now, you've all been there, and there's a little hill north of us, up the road there. When I was little, that was a big hill. And one day, Jenny took me up on top of that big hill. Probably took us an hour to get up there, I think. She took us way up there. Get up here. Right in the top of the hill, and she whispered in my ear, "There's no Santa Claus." And my life was over. And there's no Easter Bunny either, she said. And that's true, too. I didn't mean to pick out certain people and to say they were special, but I got to thinking a lot about tonight, and today, about years ago. And Betty got up and said about my dad. And there's certain people who remind me of him. One is Dawn, no doubt about it, and Roy and Oliver. So you're sort of Myra on warm afternoons, old men go fishing with black line on spoons, and if they catch nothing, they never complain, and I wish I was with them again. Boys in their boats called to girls on the shore, teasing the ones that they dearly adore, and into the evening the courting begins, and I wish I was with them again. Can you imagine a piece of the universe more fit for princes and kings? I'll trade you 10 of your cities for Marion Bridge and the pleasure it brings. Out on the Myra on soft summer nights, the bonfires blaze to the children's delights. They dance round the flames, singing songs with their friends, and I wish I was with them again. And over the ashes, the stories are told of the witches and werewolves and Oak Island gold. Stars on the river may sparkle and spin, and I wish I was with them again. Can you imagine a piece of the universe more fit for princes and kings? I'll trade you 10 of your cities for Marion Bridge and the pleasure it brings. Out on the Myra, the people are kind. They'll treat you to homebrew, they'll help you unwind. And if you've been broken, they'll see that you mend, and I wish I was with them again. Can you imagine a piece of the universe more fit for princes and kings? I'll trade you 10 of your cities for Marion Bridge and the pleasure it brings. Now I'll conclude with this wish you go well. Sweet be your dreams, may your happiness swell. I'll leave you now, for my journey begins, and I'm going to be with them, going to be with them, I'm going to be with them again.
And Polly, welcome to Canada, welcome to Saskatchewan. Max is here, he's been waiting here for you for 50 years. And we brought him out here tonight. Now we want you to come up and sit on the stage here next to Max while we sing this song. Would you do that for us? Come on up here, Aunt Polly. Come on up here and sit beside Max over here. Come on up here, be a good sport now. Show us what they do in Vancouver. Come on up here, and she just needs, give her a big round of applause, you guys. Big round of applause. All right. Come on up, Polly.
Is this the Aunt Polly Max?
Come on up here and sit beside Max over here. He's been waiting for you for such a long time, and he's so lonely. You have to bring her around the steps there, boys.
Can somebody wake up Max?
Mac's been sleeping for a long time, and he's going to get his socks washed tonight. Here she comes, Aunt Polly, and is going to sit on stage. Come on, Aunt Polly. Give her a big hand. She's a good sport. As I walked out in the streets
wasteland, I spied an old bum by Eddie Hook's house. It was late in the evening, and Polly was singing, I'm lonely, come in here, you louse. Pretty Polly walked in behind Ed and Mary to see if the louse had entered the house. And to her surprise, he was laying in bed, all wrapped up, except for his head. Polly screamed as she shrieked in a voice filled with terror. Even though Max It's Bob's rating. Even though Max looked back, she said, I don't care. 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 Ed and Mary looked on, their minds filled with horror, as Polly's eyes rolled and she slumped to the floor. Beat the drum slowly and play the fife lowly. Play the dead march, and she carried him home. Max is elated, his body deflated. He's comatose, but he lays flat on the bed. Give Aunt Polly a big round of applause. She's going to need it after tonight, I'll tell you. So we'll start the song now, and here's a little Russian for you. When the sun says good day to the mountains, and the night says hello to the dawn, I'm alone with my dreams on the hilltop. I can still hear your voice, though you're gone. I hear from my door the love songs through the wind. It brings back sweet memories of you. Now when the sun says good day to the mountains, I'm alone dreaming only of you. Désolé, bonjour, comment allez-vous? Et la nuit rencontre le jour. mama and my papa. Down the road I look and there runs Mary. At night school her legs a little hairy. It's good to touch the green, green grass of home. Yes, they'll all come to see me in the preaching, smiling sweetly. It's good to touch the green, green grass of home. The old outhouse is still standing, though the catalog is used and gone. And there's that old seat that Don Grokey used to sit on. Down the path he'd run and hope to make it. But there were times when little Donnie had to fake it. That's why they had such green, green grass at home. Yes, they'll all come to see me neath the shade of that old oak tree as they lay me neath the green, green grass of home. And now, a gentleman who passed away 12 years ago, very difficult to bring him here tonight, but he's here. The late Mr. Walter Brennan. Now when I wake and look around me, yes, sir, those four gray walls that surround me, why, son, suddenly I realize that I was only dreaming, yes, sir, just dreaming. Before you see, folks, there's a God, and there's a shadow padre, well, arm in arm, we'll wake again at daybreak, when again I touch the green, green grass of loose land. Yes, they'll all come to see me beneath the shade of that old oak tree as they lay me beneath that green, green grass of home. Boys. Thanks, Max. Thanks, Aunt Polly. Right now, I'm going to ask my children to come up here and join me, Keith and Kathy. Could you please come up to the stage and we'll sing a couple of songs here?
Tell me about the good old
Polly?
Max wants to dedicate this song to Aunt Polly. And Keith's going to sing it for us. It goes like this.
It's now or never. Come hold me tight. Kiss me, my darling. Be mine tonight. Tomorrow may be too late. It's now or never. My love won't wait. Just like a willow, we would cry an ocean if we lost true love to sweet devotion. Your lips excite me. Let your arms unite me. For who knows when we'll meet again this way. It's now or never. Come hold me tight. Kiss me, my darling. Be mine tonight. Tomorrow may be too late. It's now or never. My love won't wait. It's now or never. My love won't take a sandman journey, gonna set my heart at ease. Gonna take a sandman journey to renew old memories. Got my bags, I got my reservations. Spend each time I could afford, like a child in wild anticipation. Long to hear that all aboard. 7, that's the time I leave at 7. I'll be waiting up for heaven, counting every mile of railroad track that brings me back. Someday soon my heart will be returning, then I will no longer roam. Gonna take a sentimental journey, sentimental journey home. The warden threw a party in the county jail. The prison band was there and they began to wail. The band was a-jumping and the joint began to swing. Should've heard us knock that jailbird sing, let's rock, that's wrong. Everybody in the whole South Block was dancing to the jailhouse rock. Spider Miller played a tenor saxophone, a little jawbone on a slide trombone. The drum of a million noise, a crash, boom, bang, and the whole rhythm section was a purple gang. Let's rock, let's rock. Well, everybody in the whole South Block was dancing to the jailhouse rock. Number 47 said to number 3, you're the cutest jailbird I ever did see. I sure would be delighted with your company. Come on and do the jailhouse rock with me. Let's rock, let's rock. Everybody in the whole South Block was dancing to the jailhouse rock. Sad sack sitting on the block of stone, way over in the corner weeping all alone. The warden said, hey buddy, don't you be no square. If you can't find a partner, use a wooden chair. Let's rock, let's rock. Well, everybody in the whole South Block was dancing to the jailhouse rock. Shifting hands hit the bug head, take a say, no one's looking, now's the chance to make a break. But the turn shifty in the shed, nicks. I wanna stick around and get my kicks. Let's rock, let's rock. Well, everybody in the whole South Block was dancing to the jailhouse rock. Everybody in the whole South Block was dancing to the jailhouse rock.
Yeah, that was you. Yeah.